we're happy to. And okay, so I want to let you know that this is being recorded, so it's available. If those who may not be able to make it, it will be available to them. I want to introduce this morning the different people who are going to be participating. Brother Adrian, the provincial from Asia, will be participating with us. And also Brother Jimmy, our Secretary General, and the leader of, or the coordinator, excuse me, of the renewal process will also be speaking this morning. My name is Brother John. I'm the Provincial of America, and I will be moderating the session today. We hope and we respect your time, so we want to be sure that we continue to operate within the framework of 1 hour so that we use your time in a good way. If we need to go over 1 hour, I hope it will not be very long, but hopefully we can keep it within the 1 hour period. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Brother Adrian to start with a prayer for this morning. Thank you, Brother Adrian.
So let us join together the prayer for our journey of transformation. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we continue on our congregational journey as brothers of charity. Help us to engage in a meaningful dialogue and actions which allows us to nurture those bonds of communion which we seek to strengthen. Fill us with your grace to be open to your Spirit in reinforcing our common mission and the influence of the shared ministries together. May this time of transformation renew our resolve to serve you and your church through openness, mutuality, and collaboration. We ask these things in your name. Amen. In the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right, thank you, Brother Adrian. We proposed that the way we will move through this webinar is to first summarize the points, some points of the renewal process, and hopefully answer some questions in that presentation. That will be a PowerPoint presentation. And then Brother Adrian and myself, who are the only two provincials who could be present this morning, will try to give some personal reflections from our viewpoint on how the process is working and the importance of how this work needs to be done in our local provinces. And then we will have a time for questions and comments, and hopefully questions and comments related to the process, and yeah, so that we don't get into endless discussions. It will be questions and comments, and more or less concise. So we use the time and give the opportunity for the largest number of people to participate. And I think I see that there are 26 people online at this moment. Okay, I will give the floor to Brother Jimmy, who will give us a PowerPoint presentation and some explanation of how the process is structured and some reflections on that. Brother Jimmy?
So, my dear brothers, thank you very much to be present this morning, afternoon, and evening for you. We are now together as a community. So we are a group of a team of a community of brothers who are being entrusted by the congregation to lead through this renewal process of our congregation. So we launched this in February. You have been composed the groups and have been already working in the different domains, but discussing all the sponsors and the leaders, we believe that it was very important for us to make a learning stop and to assess how the process is moving. And finally, we said it's important to bring all members of the team together. So together we should be 49 brothers involved in the whole process, in the leading of the process. We are conducting the process. So I bring some information to you because I think it has been also a challenge for many of the members of the team, what the expectations are from the congregation to their participation in the different team, and also what is the outcome expected from the team. I think there are many questions that, as Brother John mentioned, we would like to answer today. But first, we'll give a framework and information about, again, the process, just to refresh again our knowledge, our mind about this process. So the first question, it's about the renewal. So we are in a renewal process, and the question is why we need a renewal process. I think this question is very important because sometimes we forget that why we are doing this. And if we forget that, I think we will lose again motivation. We will lose again this spirit which should energize the process. I think to ask this question, why we need the process of renewal, it is very important. That's a question that constantly probably we should reflect about that, but also to bring that to our brothers in our communities. And why is that? Next slide. Okay. So we need to start to know about these facts. Okay. So first of all, we need this renewal process because our congregation, since January 2023, is under the supervision of the Holy See through Abbot Jos Walters, who is our apostolic commissioner. So it means our congregation currently is not in a normal, between brackets, government situation. So all of us, we know that we are approaching the end of the mandate of the General Chapter 2020-18, and we will not have General Chapter to appoint new or to elect new government in our congregation because we are still under the supervision of the Holy See. And this must be temporarily, it's not long, but there's some requirements to go again in the normal, we can say it, way of governance in our congregation with our brothers. I think from the beginning we heard many voices, many messages already say why we don't have already elections, why we don't have a brother leading the congregation, because we still have to fulfill something for the Holy See. So we're still under the supervision of the Holy See. So the other elements that we need to keep, why we need to do this renewal process, is that in the opinion and conclusion of our Jos, after 6 months of his supervision, companion of our congregation, he met Monsignor Carballo. At that time, he was the secretary of the Dicastery of Religious Life. This dicastery, is the one who are really in charge of our follow-up of the situation of a congregation, specific people working there. And Monsignor Carballo, at that moment, it was the main contact person there. So Abbot just has the meetings, several meetings with him. And he, after that meeting, his opinion and conclusion after listening Monsignor Caballo was that the future is not optimistic. The future of our congregation, because we have serious problem that we need to solve. And first, we need to face that and to try to overcome those problems. And mainly, they mentioned three main problems that the Vatican have seen, that the Holy See have seen in our congregation. First, of course, is related to the finance, the financial dependency on the central administration. So this is the first things, and many of us, especially probably in the province of Africa, in the province of Asia and other regions, who were depending directly from the subsidies coming from the general administration, have several problems and issues in the past years. So this is the first thing that the Vatican pointed out, is that it's a serious problem about this dependency. The dependency that these regions, they need the support of the general administration. And linked to that, it was that the accounts of the general administration has been empty. So there were not more funds, even if we want to continue supporting, was not possible anymore. So it was really a problem at that point. The second, it was a structural problem in the governance. That was the other elements. So it means all our structure that we know, we conceive about govern our congregation, elements like subsidiarity, you know, respecting the authorities of the brothers, were not in a good situation. So they say the structure problem in the governance. It means it's not about general administration, it's not about the provincial superior, it's not about the regional superior, it's not about the director of the school, it's not about the local superior. It's all this link. All this structure has a problem. Something is going on there, is what mentioned the Vatican. So something need to be addressed at that point. The third, it was a weakness in the recruitment and formation of new members of the congregation. So, you know, if we want to continue the future and we want to pass to the next generations, our charism we have been carry on since our foundation. So we need to take care of the life of the congregation. And the life of the congregation is about the formation, the recruitment first, which kind of people we need and we like to welcome, who are in the same line of our spirituality, our charisma. And also a formation, and you know, formation is not only the novitiate, it's also ongoing formation. We have been repeating that, it's important. So there were like a summary of three main core problems that the Vatican has seen in our congregation. It said, okay, this congregation has these main problems. We see all a kind of symptoms, with concrete things happening. So all are symptoms that come from these problems. So this congregation, if they cannot really address this problem and to overcome this problem, that was what highlighting, it was confronted with these realities. The congregation is in a danger to being weighed down if action is not taken from within by actively involving all its members. So I think this is a very strong statement because, first of all, okay, if we cannot solve this problem, it means we are not able to govern ourselves. We are not able to finance our life, our communities. We are not able to continue to pass the future through formation. It means no future for us. But they said we need active and involving from within. No, the Vatican, no an expert, no a commission coming from them, neither about Dios is the one who will come to tell us what we need to do. It is up to us. And the next step of that, it was that as soon as possible, about Dios organized 2 meetings. Maybe some of you have been participating of September already, because it's happened on July last year. So already on September, we're a meeting within superiors and local councillors to mention this. And as Abbot Jose, I remember that moment, he said, now it's up to you, brothers, all of you. And we were almost 90 brothers online at that moment. They said, it's up to you. You want to take this with you? And all of us, of course, we said, okay, we love our congregation. We believe that we can do it. We can do this. Okay. So that was the starting point and the why we need this renewal process. So we need again to bring in our hands of all our communities, of our brothers, all our members, again, our congregation, and to direct their future. So this is the reason. I think it's something that probably we forget is, now it's okay. We are already accustomed. We see sometimes the face of Abbot Jos. We sometimes write to email to him or read a letter, and so everything is okay. It's not okay, brothers. We are in a transition moment, and we need to change this, and the Holy See is expecting outcomes of this. So what we are going to do about these elements. So the next slide. So after this, Abbot Jos is govern the congregation following advice of a group of brothers who are the advisory board. So we decided after we said, okay, we take the challenge and we need a leader group, leader team who can, from within again, who can think and reflect how we will do this, how we will address this situation. And finally, it was decided that we should have a physical meeting in Belgium. It was celebrated in the 2 weeks in the end of January and beginning of February of this year. So it was Abbot Jos, it was all members of the advisory board, and also Mr. William Duron, who is our external advisor. And we were together to reflect. And the first things we need we have done is first to see our reality, how we see our reality at this point. And also we have taken account two outcomes of meetings. So you remember very well also the meeting in Rome on September 2022. So we took also the report of that, which was very rich in information after the consultation process, and also the reports of the discussions during the meeting in September after Abbot Jos has gave us the information. So finally, we said as a team, as a group, as a brothers being together there in Belgium, reflecting how we will do this. And finally, we said, okay, we need to go through a systematic, organized, and participatory process that we have to show to the Holy See at the beginning of 2026. So we need to show results. And we decided that the process itself needs to show already change in the way of leading the congregation, but also how we operate it. You remember this statement about the structure and governance? That's why we choose not the easy way, which is again, bringing brothers, all of you, invited all of you to participate actively in the transformation process, in this renewal process. So, and we said that should be participatory because we need also a cross-province representations. We also need to consider age of the brother experience, young brothers, brothers with more experience, and so on and so on. But what we want to reach in the end of January 2026, we need to have a clear vision for the future of the congregation. So we expect that with the process in the end, we will have a very clear vision about the future, where we want to continue, how we will continue, where we are going with servant leadership. So that is very important. I think one of the domain is busy with that in a culture of participative and collegial governance. So we want to do this process in order to clarify again our vision for the future, but also changing the way of leading the congregation and also we want to hear more voices. This is not an easy way, as I said. We took the long and not easy way, but I think we need to continue doing this effort. So this is the goal. We want to reach this with all the actions we will do during the process. And finally, of course, we have seen this logo that we prepared in the end of our session in Belgium, all of us, because after brainstorming, reflecting, praying together, and discussing together, we have identified these 7 domains that you know all of them, and you are part of the team of the domain. So we said that we will do organize systematic this system. So that's why we decided that we will do a strategic planning to do this transformation, this renewal process. So what it means to have a strategic plan? It means to develop a detailed plan with objective, goals, and a timeline. You remember these long documents that we presented and all of you have received it. It's available always in the website. It's a complete document, several pages, when already you will see details about the dynamic of the process, but also I think very important, the objective of all the domains. All the domains receive a general objective or goal there. So, and after we need to complete as a team the goals and the timeline and so on. So this is an element that the planning need to be developed. The other element that this strategic plan need to have is representation. You remember, again, we said we need that the composition of the team represent different provinces. And I think we have been trying to do that. Participation. We need the brothers be take their time. We know all of us is not, we are not exclusively for the process. We have different tasks, different responsibilities in our regions, in our communities, but it's important to take our time to participate in all the invitation and all the calls that the leader and the sponsor asks you to be present. And the other element is commitment. Commitment is very important. It's not only to show my face or maybe just to send an email, but also active commitment. Participate, give your ideas. Also, we need to continue assess the process as we are doing now. I think we make a learning stop just to assess where we are now. What is the challenges currently? And the other also, we need to involve all the parties that contribute to skills, knowledge, and experience in each of the domain. Because what we have seen also is that some of us or some of the team members think that they are the one who need to execute the plan. Remember that the first, next slide, I will explain that, but at this moment is not to run in action. It's first to design a plan, to be clear for all the members of the domain, already show where we want to reach, where we are now as a team, what is the situation of a domain currently in our congregation, what actions we need to take. This is the only things at this moment you need to reflect together. It's not to organize a seminar, it's not about to go to give a speech, it's not to write a protocol. No, it is action already. That will come. But at this moment, we need all your experience to bring together, to think together. But for the action plan, we can involve other experts. For example, let us say in the finance, I think is a concrete team also. We need probably more people who more expertise in a specific domain in finance, for example, of in constitution. We need probably some with more experience, more expert in spirituality and so on. So, but that will come in the action. We will put that. So we'll organize seminars, we'll organize discussion about that. So, but now the participation is important to bring all your experience and your idea to develop the plan. So this is a process and it has a phases, as I was mentioned already in the previous slide. So this is at least we identified 6 different phases, and we are still in the first, brothers. So we are not, we are stuck there, I think. Sorry, in the second, I think already. We are in the second already, but we need to continue moving. So the first step was to clear understanding of the process as a whole and common vision, where we all going. I think the first task of the team, all of you, is come together and to understand the whole process. Because we have heard also that sometimes it became too local. So I come to the team and I talk about my particular challenges in my region or in my community. But remember, brothers, you are called, you are invited, you are engaged in this process for the whole congregation. It's not about my region, it's not about my community, it's about the congregation. Okay, so that is, I think, how do you say, a dynamic that we need to enter. So what we are doing now, or you are doing in the team, is trying to bring your ideas, your expectation, your dreams for the future, but for the whole congregation. We know the realities. We are confronted with very young brothers, with a lot of energies and things in the province, for example, of Africa, where vocation is flourishing very nice. But we have also the realities in the north, where our brothers are more aging with more experience. But we need to come all together. That's why we make this composition of the team. So that is very important to be conscious of that. So the first task of the team is try to understand that I invited to be part of this renewal process for the whole congregation and to understand the whole process, where we are going for the future. And the second was to review, as I mentioned already, in the whole document, we already present objective. So the idea was everyone review clearly and understand and discuss. It's not only to read, okay, the objective is to install a servant leadership team. Okay, it's nice, but what is the discuss? Why we need this? What is the reality? What is happening in our congregation? So the idea was to review, to check, and to take the ownership of that as a team. So that we believe in it and we need to do. And after, of course, it was to analyze the tracks. You receive also tracks, what we call line of actions of guidance, where we want to go. So the tracks were not something strict. It was just proposal from our discussion in February. But the idea it is that you, again, looking at the situation of the domain, what we expect to do, the track can be changed. We said always, it was only a proposal. So after discussion in your team, promoting these ideas, it was to design the tracks. So, and only when the tracks are clear enough, the objective has been clear, understand for everyone, at that moment we will move to the third, and some of the team already are in this movement of the third. We need to elaborate a plan, and that plan need to have a objective consistent with the vision, where we want to reach, with the whole process. What is outlined specific task and the timelines and responsibilities. So that will be a very detailed document of your domain that you will say, okay, this contributes to the whole vision of transformation. For example, let us say in the finance, to install a commission, something like that. What will be the online specific task of that commission? What will happen? For how long? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months? How? What is the responsible? Who will be responsible of those commissions, and so on and so on? It's not to do the commission now, it's to prepare when the action plan will come. So in the fourth element, it will be already implementation. So when we have all this clear, what we want to do. At that moment, we said, okay, now it's time to implement. At that moment, we will jump, we can say, in action. We will do this, we will involve, and the idea also is that we will involve the whole congregation. It's not 49 brothers that we will do the change. The idea is that we are planning and to invite all the brothers in the congregation to be part of this transformation process. Okay. And the fifth is the monitoring and adjustment. So when it's going the implementation, we again continue monitoring. If everything is going well, we need to adjust elements, we will do it. And finally, we need to produce a report for the Holy See, and that should be in the beginning of 2026. We know in the domains, when you reflect and you discuss, can be very long discussions, very deep discussions, and we know that we will not solve in 1 year. But at least we need already to draw a line. We said, okay, we identified this is the situation, we want to reach this, but in 1 year, we will take the first 2-3 steps. We still have this long way to go, but already it's clear, and that should be taken by the next general chapter. But the idea is now to be in action, to move already in this. And to finish, very concrete here, there is here the different tasks we have given to all the members. So we have external consultant, which is Willem Duro. We have a sponsor in SLT. We have a team leader, and we have a team members. What we expect from each one of them. So from the external consultant, he helped us to build consensus around priorities, ensure that the plan is logical and organized. Okay, you know, we have Willem Duro. He's always available for the team. If you think there is no consensus and you cannot define priorities, the things are not clear, you just contact me or contact Willem, and we'll be ready to help you in your team. Okay, so that is the task of Willem. So Willem will always help us to come as external. He has another point of view, has another expertise that can help us to build this consensus, these priorities. Okay, and next we have sponsor. You know, all the members of the SLT are sponsor each one of the team. So the sponsor ensure that the process is comprehensive and participatory. Discuss with the leader the decisions that guarantee effective ways to achieve the objective. So it means this discussion, it's very important. The sponsor is not the one who lead the team, it's the leader. The sponsor is there, again, to support and to be sure that the process, that the reflections are really going in that direction. And also, I think it's important that should be always close communication. We heard some of them use WhatsApp, some of them phone calls, some video calls, but there is these connections. It is a working together, again, as a team. As a team leader, many of you are team leaders, so we need that the team leader build secure relationship between all team members. I think this is precondition. We have learned already that we came from a culture that the superior, the one who has a position, is the one who will tell us what to do. And again, it's already the process in change. We need to be secure that all the members that are participating have feel secure in safe space that can be openly share their experience. So that is very important to ensure that the way we said it's not a group of brothers, it's a team, it's a community of brothers, again, trying to learn together, to exchange their life, okay, the experience. That is very important. So to build this relationship between us, it is very important. Precondition, I think, for the team can work very well. So the second is to ensure the development of the meaningful actions. So because they can just sit and talk anything, no, we need to discuss about meaningful actions, what we are going to do, to define each stage of the planning process. to have phases, but to have also stages in every elements of the planning. So we need the leader can define this. These are the stage brothers. We will do this week. We will take this time, these days or these weeks to reflect about that, or to discuss about that, or to produce these elements. Also ensure effective communication of the outcomes of each stage. Yeah, again, about this. So the stage need to be very clear for the team to guide the team leader, to guide all the team members. And finally, the team members. So there's, first of all, I think very important, active participation. Again, I think I repeated already in the previous slide. It means to be engaged and contribute with their ideas and perspective during discussion. I said it's not only to appear, to come before 5 minutes the meeting finish. No, please be conscious that your engagement, your participation is very important. Okay, you have been again assigned a point, and I think the last time we were discussing also among ourselves and the SLT, we said it's not it's a duty of all of that. It's our congregation, so we need to be conscious of that. That's why we need your active participation. And the second is commitment. Be dedicated to the process. I know, again, I said you have different responsibilities, but please, if you can organize your time, discuss with your team leaders, and to find the best time that you can come together and be committed to that, and follow through on their task and responsibility. I think the team leader has assigned some task to the members. You're like the secretary, or you prepare these elements, or you will bring this document, or you will bring us this reflection next time. So please be in that way committed to the work of the team. And the third, I think all of us, we have experiences. As I said, we have also tried to diversify the group with age, with experience. Everyone bring their experience and also knowledge. Some of brothers have specific knowledge in management, in finance, in organizing things, and so on. All these elements are very important. So bring their specific experience to the group. Provide them value insight relevant to the process. Again, we will not make long discussions. We cannot solve everything in the team, but bring this insight which is really relevant for the process, for the stage that the team leader is mentioning. So today we are discussing about these things. So, my dear brothers, these are the things that I have been prepared for you. Again, trying to put all the elements together of the process and to present to you, so you can have it and reflect about that. And as Brother John mentioned, we'll have, after hearing him and Brother Adrian, the process in the provinces, so we'll have time for exchange of ideas and discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Jimmy. At this point, Brother Adrian, I would like if you could come on and give some reflections on how you see the process being both necessary and how you see it helping or assisting in your province.
Thank you, Brother John. As we know that this strategy that is planned for our congregation is so important and very crucial for the future of our congregation. And indeed, it is an urgent need for us to put some actions, because our situation is not really good at the moment. And the whole brothers, I think, wherever they are in the world, they know this situation is not easy. And that is why we need really cooperation. We need to really work together to be active and participating to really reach the objectives of this movement towards the renewal of our congregation. And so far, we have already made such a nice plan by making up several domain and the teams for each domain, by selecting the brothers to be the leaders and the members of each domain. And that is really something good for us to start. That is why we just started only a few months ago, and we are still in the process of this renewal. But we should really take into a concrete plan, not only just a plan, but to implement it to the congregation so that it will really step by step reaching our goal through our participation, through our collaboration. So far, I think every team is trying, to start their work. Some having some, of course, is not smoothly going, but the others are progressing very well. But I think it's a part of the process, sometimes it is challenge, sometimes it goes smoothly. So we have to really keep our perseverance, to keep our action for renewal going. And especially the goal is that in January 2026, we hope that we can show to the Holy See that we are really doing something positive for the future of congregation. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Adrian. As I said in the beginning of the webinar, unfortunately, we don't have all four of the provincials were not able to be here. However, Brother Adrian and I are holding down the fort that way. From my perspective, I think we are finding that our problems are not unique. They exist in other congregations as well. So it's not that we are so unusual in that way. However, the problems are real for us. And the task, as Brother Jimmy pointed out, the task to address these challenges is our task. And it's not someone else to do it. A renewal process is a rather common thing, and many congregations have gone through renewal processes. So we're not inventing something new altogether. We have other experiences to look at and to benefit from. One of the things that I think is important, and Brother Jimmy pointed out, and I find it an important thing to underline, is for all the brothers in the congregation, is to share the responsibility, responsible membership. If you're going to be a member of the congregation, you have a responsibility. And everyone has to share that responsibility, and that translates into participation. And it means active participation. Some brothers would prefer to sit on the side and look in and see how things are going, that somebody else is doing things, but we need brothers to be off the sidelines and in the game, in the participation. So in that sense, I think our process needs to be wide. We have to continually look as teams how to widen the input how to have more brothers involved, and not only brothers, I'll come back to that, how we can have more brothers involved in the discussions to make the discussions more comprehensive, more deep. Widening the involvement means also, if we stop and think about how our congregation more or less expresses its mission, it is not only brothers. As a matter of fact, the brothers are a small minority. The largest number of people are lay collaborators who are helping to move the mission forward with us. They need to be involved. We need to find a way that they have a significant involvement in what the future is, what it will be. We have to hear their voice. We have to find a way to have their voices heard. And different domains will have a different way of involving our collaborators. We also talked about stakeholders from time to time, funders. I think we, as members of the advisory board, we've discussed some friends and funders who are committed to helping us from a financial standpoint. They're stakeholders. They're not directly working with us day to day, but they are committed to us and committed to our mission. We need to hear them. We need to find a way for their voice to be heard. Similarly, I would say in other domains, we have to look for who are the stakeholders, who are the people who may not be necessarily working day to day with us in leadership positions, but who have, for example, who have some stake, some interest in the congregation. And I say congregation in a large sense. Associate members, how are we going to involve associate members in our discussions to deepen the experiences? We have to find a way, or we should find a way, to discuss in our domains, are the associate members implicated? Do they have something to give? How are we going to get their input? They are members, associate members of the congregation. So we have to also be thinking there. We're starting with all brothers. The teams are all brothers, but the teams can be and should be necessarily widened, at least the input, if not the membership of the team. Yeah, that's what my reflections are to this point. I can't really represent what Brother Luc van Dijk from the province of St. Benedict in Europe, or Brother Gerard from the province of St. Augustine in Africa, what their perceptions would be. But I know that we meet regularly as the core SLT team. And then we also meet with the abbot as members of the advisory board. So we're not in different places necessarily with this. As a matter of fact, on the contrary, we are more or less agreed that this is where we need to be and how we need to progress forward. Okay, I don't want to take up any more time, so I think we should move to any time for comments or questions. As far as I see that there's 32 people on board, so there's, I'm sure, some questions here and there. Brother Jimmy, I don't see the screens, so I'm not sure that I'll be able to. Yeah, okay, I see. First hand up is from Brother Bienvenu with a question. Brother Bienvenu, if you unmute and give us your question or your comment.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. Greetings to you all. I would personally want to make a comment first of all, to salute or to recognize the good progress we're having with these consultations and all the formation of the domains. And I think it's really in a good way. Before answering to the question or the concern of Brother John of how to widen, to broaden the circle so that everybody feels involved, I'd like to suggest something or to ask. As you know, we are part of the church, like the whole process is going on in the church as an institution inside the church. So speaking about the external consultant, I personally don't know well the profile of Mr. Willem, but I really think he has a very good contribution. I was suggesting we try, or maybe we've done that, to try to consult other experts in different domains, like canon lawyers, experts in issues regarding consecrated life, theologians, so that as we move together, we also don't go astray what the church expects from us or inquires from us. The second thing is how to widen the input. I would suggest we try to update in a regular basis all the brothers and the members of the processes, just the way we're doing now, meeting as a team, as different teams of different domains, to update them of the process that is ongoing. Otherwise, people will feel left aside. And in that sense, also to listen to them. I know we're doing that already in the domains. For the rest is really, I hope the first change is a change of mentality and the mental status so that people will feel involved. That's what I had to give as contribution and questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Bienvenu. I will point out, Brother Jimmy, if you can queue up any other hands while you're doing that, I will point out that there's already a question on the chat box. Is it possible to give results from all the 7 groups and how they are doing? And I think that's something worth talking about. Unfortunately, I don't think we planned that at this particular time, but I think, as Brother Bienvenu says, regular updates, I think we can probably structure some kind of a communication to all of the different domains about how the others are doing, how it's moving along. So just to answer that question quickly, we're going to take that and see what we can do with it soon. All right, brother. Yeah. Okay, Brother Molope. Molope, if you can unmute. Brother Molope. Brother Nkulu. I don't.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, you're good. Go ahead.
Yes, brother.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, brother. Okay, thank you for your explanation you have given. But according to my understanding, the plan we have, as we said, is to see how are we going to, after the 2 years, what will be. But to my knowledge, according to my consideration, I've seen that the big problem is not is for all congregation, but there are some provinces which are too much concerned. Among them, Asia province and African province. We have only now, if we can speak about the time we have to calculate, is not no more 2 years to go to the general chapters we are planning it. Now we are remaining with 1 year and some months. The problem we have, according to what I was expecting now, is to see those provinces who have problems. How are we going to solve the part, even 65% of the problems we have, so that we can move from the parental depending of these provinces. I'm sorry to use this because I know that the province of Africa and the province of Asia, we are too much depending to Europe province or that. That is, I was suspecting that we should give us the way to move to this way of too much depending and how to this for among during 2 years, what can we do? You should ask us, for example, you Africa or the province of Africa, what do you think so that we can move from this parent to depending so that after 2 years we can, if we have to depend almost 15% or 20% of those depending. I mean that you should ask us, we Africa brothers and the Asian brothers, what can you think as a apostolate which can give us chance of not too much depending to Europe or to America, for example. This could be more a good solution so that the 1 year and some of remaining, we should do that. So we have started this of that. When we read the general chapter, we'll see that each province is able to move from itself, and each region is able to move from where we were, and now we have somewhere else, as it is done in other congregations. But now we have taken already some months. We have all, according to me, we have all almost the same weights we are using, but we are going to finish all the 2 years without reaching somewhere else. I'm not total having negative points, but we need the solution. But what can we do for the remaining months that two provinces who are too much concerned, Asia and Africa, what are going to sort of can move where we were to another way of living? Because I know that the province of Europe can have a problem, but it can perhaps individual problems, but not as total as the congregation problems. So the way of living, Africa and Asia have too much problems to solve, and this will be solved only by having the productive apostolate, which can give us the autonomous of living so that we cannot depend always to Europe. I'm sorry to use it. We are from the congregation here from Europe, from this, but now we need to feel ourselves that we are responsible of what we are doing. We are responsible of what we need to be. We are brothers, we will remain brothers. So that from the new team who will be leaders, or new team of leaders, they will be helped by some others. And also the system can be changed. When the congregation will appoint, or some leaders will be elected, we have to form some members as accountable members so that they can follow all the projects of the region of the province. When there is a money for one project, the members have to meet to decide to see the priority. What is the priority project? We have to make sure that the region can go on or the province can go on. That is also my expectation.
Thank you, brother. Exactly. And I think that's that's exactly what we were trying to put out very clearly, that this renewal process is for the whole congregation, but it has local implementation. And part of the idea of the structure and governance is that each locality has that the whole principle of subsidiarity is a local situation should be able to govern itself in a large degree. So a lot of the solutions will come from the people who know the local situation best. So our process needs to be localized in one way, but we are connected as an international congregation, so it also has to have that international connection as well. I think that's the challenge, but certainly the solutions come from the people who have the experience, who live it. And that's where widen the circle, make sure that people are involved in the discussion. Brother Jimmy, do we have anyone else? Any other comments or questions? Brother Venance, you are on board, if you can unmute.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you well. Thank you.
Okay, so for me, I was like, if the policy identified the three major problems in our congregation, why we didn't put more efforts in working on those three dimensions of financial dependency, of structural governance problem, and of information. Why we didn't concentrate on those? Because we have just a timeline of at least 2 years, and we have like reproduced so many domains, which kind of makes the process more long, so to speak. But if we could have put all of us energy into these three major problems that are identified by the Holy See, maybe other domains could follow later as part of the renewal also. Just like to emphasize on what Brother John Jack was saying also, that how to empower Africa and Asia to be self-sufficient, but also on the structural problems. Maybe we could see how to do it within the time frame that we have been given, the same on information. Then other domains we could try to attach them like a side dish, but this is the main dish, you know? Yeah.
Okay. I have you, Brother Venance, and we have taken note of your comment, except all I can say from my perspective, and I would invite Brother Jimmy or Brother Adrian to hop on if necessary, is that we identified all of these domains. You see the three in the center are very intimately connected, and the other four domains are supporting that core in the center, the three domains in the center. And we've found that we couldn't touch, or we couldn't begin to talk about one problem or one challenge without seeing the impact of others. So these are all connected, and the work should be simultaneous. And that's why we want to keep all of the domains working together and moving at the same time, because they all have impact on each other. That's my short answer. I mean, there was a lot of discussion about that in February as we designed the process. I see but everyone I think sees in the chat box something from Brother Seraphin on the side. Exactly, we're not throwing everything away. It will take time. The other piece is nothing will be perfectly all settled and in place by 2026. The idea is not that the process is complete by then, but that we show the Holy See that we are in process and there is movement, and some things may be complete, some things may not be complete, but that there is movement and there is a process and there is work being done. I think that might be the general idea. Can we go further? Is there any other question or comment? I'm looking at the time. I'm trying to be respectful of time. Do we have anyone else, Brother Jimmy? No? Last call for any comments or questions? No more. Okay. Brothers, I have to thank you for your time. I hope that this has been helpful to you to understand that the process is process. It's process. It's a renewal process. I keep saying process. It's not a one and done thing. It's something that has a life that continues and a movement. So the idea is to keep the process moving. Will a process finish? Hopefully, some tasks may finish, some tracks may be complete, some tasks may be completed. But the process, the dynamic, is the thing that we are most interested in, keeping a movement of dynamic. And I think that this is along the line of what the church is saying, that we need to be in dialogue. And I think the Holy See made a specific mention of a more dialogical, synodal, I don't think they use those words, but a governance with more dialogue, more participation. So these are the kind of things that we want to keep moving in, and it's not a it's not an end game. We don't have to have everything done and then that's it. No, it's a process that hopefully will always be going on, that we will always be talking to one another in a deep and a significant way. Last I see from Brother Vadas, I think it's to everyone. He is proposing that we have more meetings about the integration of the work of each of the different domains. And I see that this is twice mentioned. Somebody is asking for results, and I think he's suggesting a meeting to share some results. So the core team will take this and figure out what to do. And our facilitator says if we have other questions, we share these with our designated team and particularly our team leaders. So with this, I thank you very much. We're 10 minutes over time, but I think it's been, I hope it's been a very fruitful time for everyone. And I say thank you and please have a good day. Goodbye to all.